All right, the landing pictures there now, very clear pictures there, the clearest yet perhaps that we've had, the closest shot so far of the Rafale aircraft here in India landing at the Ambala airbase. Let's take a closer look at that shot and listen in to the Rafale touching down. Of the Rafale's engines finally being heard here on ground in India. Let me take that question across to Maruf. Maruf, big moment at this point of time where we are watching these aircraft.
The roar of the Rafale been heard at the Ambala Air Base. 5 of these golden arrows have been inducted or will be inducted formally today into the Indian Air Force. They touched down on Indian soil after having taken off day before yesterday from Bordeaux in France. And there are more coming, remember. So neighbors, rivals, potential competitors, people who are up to no good, better watch out. Let's quickly go back to our panelists here. Maruf, we spoke about the firepower of the Rafale. We spoke about the need to diversify inventory as well. Today, however, there'll be a loud and clear message going in to both our neighbors, to the north and to the west, that India is now more capable in the air, can be able to hit them on the ground, in the air. We have BVR, we have Rafales. It is a clear psychological and symbolic message to both our neighbors.
You know, Atar, it's been also said today in some of the major newspapers that the arrival of the Rafale also gives a very important message to South Bloc, not just to the Pakistanis and the Chinese, because I'd like to name them as our major rivals, because South Bloc must get over the whole process of roadblocks that people there specialized in putting to any military-related acquisition program. And while they would be the first to turn around and tell you that they're doing it in national interest, but sometimes their overzealousness works against the interests of the country. And for a moment, I'm not just pointing fingers at political parties and opposition parties. I'm pointing fingers of all the bureaucratic establishment, which is something which the services are at their nerves' edges in dealing with. And those who have dealt with the Rafale procurement process will say so. very
It's interesting.
openly. I
What you're
remember
talking about,
speaking
Sushant, Salim, what are your thoughts on the procurement process? Do you think there are way too many roadblocks, or as people would argue, there are checks and balances as we see new visuals of the Rafales taxiing? Yes,
Yes, great pictures there. Great pictures there, Athar, of the Rafales taxiing at the moment at the Ambala airbase, where from a vantage point we are able to in fact look at those aircraft, and what a sight indeed to see those aircraft taxiing off the tarmac into their hangars, where in fact they would very clearly be stationed from here on. But let me take this question across to former Air Chief Marshal Mr. Krishnaswamy joining us. Air Chief Marshal Krishnaswamy, the question that I'd like to ask you is that with that radio contact, the message also has been sent out that these are aircraft that are absolutely battle ready. From the moment they land here in India, they pretty much are operationally ready. How soon really would it be before we actually have these Rafale aircraft that are able to engage in any kind of combat? Is it from the moment that they land?
Well, it's a very difficult question to answer. It depends on what kind of, whether all the support systems have arrived, whether we got all the armament already there at Ambala, and we have all the trained manpower ready, and it all depends on all this support infrastructure. It's not such a big deal possibly for the pilot to get in and get off the ground, but there are a lot of preparations to do. They have to do a lot of briefing, and there are many aspects to it. In my understanding, I won't hazard a guess. I mean, it'll be improper with my background to say whether what is early, what is late. But it is left to the Chief of the Air Staff that he will decide of when to. The most important thing is, we've all talked about it before, there's no point in rushing anything.
Right, Air Marshal Krishnaswamy, just on that point, sir, just to confirm what you're saying, our colleague Srinjoy Chaudhary has been giving us inputs on this, and according to Srinjoy's information, the formal induction ceremony of the Rafale will happen next month after Independence Day. And just to your point,